Good morning, students. Today we will study Chapter 2 Software and its types. So, in this chapter, we will study about software, its types like system software, application software. Okay, so about these softwares we will study. So, first of all, software and its type. So, as you know that computer is a machine that does not process any intelligence on its own. Okay, so always we are giving the its instruction. As we know that computer follows IPO cycle, input, process and output. Okay, the term software is used to contrast with computer hardware, the physical objects. Unlike hardware, software cannot be touched. As you know that hardware we can touch, but software we cannot touch. The simple definition, simple you can understand. This software you cannot see and touch, but the hardware you can feel and touch. Hardware and software are required each other, and neither has any value without the other. Means if there is a software, if there is only software, no hardware, means there is no any use. If only hardware, no software, no use. Means both should have, means both are interdependent, both corresponding to the each other. A computer without instruction is a dumb machine. Means if you are not giving any instruction to the computer, computer behaves like a dumb. Computer hardware always requires a set of instruction to work on. Means the hardware of computer like your keyboard, monitor, mouse, in a like CPU cabinet. Okay, so these all hardwares that always it requires the instructions. So who will give the instruction? Software will give the instructions. Okay, so this set of instruction are called programs. So whatever the instruction means, the set of the instruction, the protocol of the instructions, means whatever the instructions we have written, that instructions are called the programs, and which are written in the computer languages like machine language, assembly language, high level language. Already we have discussed about this language, machine language, because it is a very low level language. Because if any computer will understand, computer can understand 0 and 1, so which is very low level language, which is machine language. Okay, so always anything whatever we are writing, means the if we are generating the programs, we are writing the source code programs, so that we call the object code, and that is the high level language. Okay, and this machine language was used in the first generation computer, assembly language in the third, and this is a high level language. Sorry, this machine language used in the first generation, assembly language used in the second, high level used in the third, and then after 4GL comes, fourth generation language used in the fourth generation computer. Likewise, in the previous chapter we have discussed about this. So means what you have to do, in any language the program is written, that has to be converted in the machine language lastly, because to interact with the computer, to the means to the hardware of the computer, to the interaction with it, with the hardware, it become easy if it is in the machine language, because that hardware and software can simulate with each other easily by the help of the machine language only. Okay, now let's see the next, which is the software, commonly known as program or apps, consist of all the instructions that tell the hardware how to perform a task. So that what is the software actually consists of lot of instruction, and it tells to the hardware what you have to do, what you have to perform. Software is capable of performing many tasks as opposed to hardware, which can only perform mechanical tasks that they can design for. Means that hardware, what is the performance of the hardware, means what hardware does, actually hardware does it perform the mechanical task, and software does the which type of task, that is electronic, actually that is a software task. Means it is actually the electronically it was done, means programmably it was done. So by the help of software, that hardware perform mechanically. So but for that it requires the instructions. So what is the main thing? If the CPU, as you know that CPU is called the brain of your computer system, then this software will call the soul of the computer. If the CPU is the brain of the computer, CPU, which part of the computer is called brain? CPU. So as software is called the soul of your computer. If it is asked which part of the computer is called soul of the computer, so that is your software, without which it cannot work. So to work any computer, it required the software and hardware, both it is required. Okay, so this is the actually structure of the how this software performing. The software divided into two categories. One is application and another is system software. Okay, software divided into two parts: application software and system software. And these applications and system, how does it work between this system software is most essential one. So this software should be there with the this application and system software, both are interacting, both are working with each other. Then after it gives the final instruction to the hardware. Okay, but this system software is work in the middle, means this is the, there are two types of software, system and application, and among these two, system and application, this system software is quite essential. Okay, so one by one we will study. First of all, we will study about the system software. Okay, so what is the system software? Actually, this system software is designed to interact with the hardware, means user can interact with the hardware, means how you can interact with the computer. So there is a requirement of system software. If there is a system software, you can easily interact with the computer. So the system software is collections of programs designed to operate, control and extend the processing capabilities of computer itself. Okay, so it is, why it is designed? It is designed to operate, control, extend, okay, and the processing capabilities of the computer itself. Got it? It helps run the computer hardware system itself, as I told that, because this software, actually what is the use of software? Basically what is the use of software? It enables the hardware, it give the instruction to hardware. But this category of software, system software, what is the use? It is actually it is the basic one, means it give the basic, means the main features, means to interact the users to the computer. It allows, who allows? This system software. Okay, system software is almost always pre-installed on your computer. System software is generally prepared by computer manufacturer, which basically makes the hardware available for the user. So generally this system software is come with your when computer you are purchasing, it is come with that pre-installed. And this is the system software includes the operating system. What are the things is there in the system software? Operating system, device, drivers, diagnostics tools and more. Okay, this software products compromises programs written in low level language. As I told that this system software is written in the low level language. Why? This is why it is written in the low level language, because it has to interact, because it will interact with the at a very basic level, means to the it should have interact with the hardware. So to interact with the hardware, it should have the in the low level language. Okay, and there is the middle part of the operating system. You will study in the next pages. You will study about the middle part of the operating system is the kernel. Okay, so that is the main one. From that kernel, this hardware and computer hardware and software both can be interacted, because that simulates both hardware and software. That word is there, kernel. You will study further. So now system software serves as interface between hardware and end users. So what is the use of this? System software serves as a interface. It gives the interface, means given the we can interact with the hardware and the end users. Some examples of operating system. Some examples of system software is like operating system, compilers, interpreter, assemblers, etc. These are the system softwares. Okay, so here are some list. So some most prominent features of the system software, some features of this system software we will see here. So before that, here you can see the term software was coined to differentiate instruction from hardware, that is the physical component of a computer system. Okay, so now here we will see the some prominent features of this system software. What are the features? Let's see the features. First feature, close to the system. Yeah, because it allows interact hardware and software because it works between that, means hardware and software, and by the help of this we can interact. So it is very close to the system, fast in speed. Yeah. Then difficult to design, it's a designing, it's a coding to write program for this. It is quite complex because it has to be written in the low level language, and we know that low level language is very difficult to write because it compromises zeros and one only. Difficult to understand, yeah, that language is very difficult. Less interactive, means directly if you will try to understand the operating system, it is very hard to interact. Less interactive, is smaller in size, its size will be small, difficult to manipulate. Okay. Next, generally written in the low level language. Got it? So these are the prominent features of the system software. Now system software is three. Now again, this system software is divided into some categories, in three categories. System software is of three main three types. First is called operating system, language processor, and the utility software. This operating system we generally we call OS, also language processor, which translate your language, means suppose any program you have written, that will be converted, that will be changed to the computer language. So that is possible by the language processor. Next is your utility software, means to take care of your computer, means to maintain your computer, we are using the utility software. Okay, so one by one we will see. So first of all, operating system, OS. So an operating system is a software which act an interface at the end user and computer hardware. Okay, got it? So it is just it is the main part of your system software. An operating system is a software which act as an interface, between end user and computer hardware, means it allows us, means we can interact with the computer, with the hardware of computer. How we can interact, means simply, if there is no software, computer is dead. If there is a hardware, no software, or simple software, no hardware, it is dead, nothing to do. So means there are two things, software and hardware, then computer will be alive, means computer will work. So for working, there is a one essential software, which is system software. So in system software, then again there are three categories: operating, language processor, and utility. So in this system software, one part of that operating system, which allows us we to interact the computer, like switch on the computer, switch off the computer. Okay, so like these things we can interact, means we can attach with this, we can use the computer. So by the help of this operating system, it is possible. Every computer must have at least one OS to run other program. An application like Chrome, MS Word, games needs some environment in which it will run and perform. Means any further we will study next in the next pages we will study application software. So if the application, to run the application software, there is required system software. As you know that in this here you can see, here we have seen this one here. So you need the system software, anyhow there should be the system software, because without system software this hardware will not work, means to interact with the hardware. So there is a system software, and this then after application software is combinedly work with the system software. So this system software work, if it will work, but there should have the system software, then application software can work. So now the OS help you to communicate with the computer without knowing how to speak the computer language. If you are not knowing the computer language, but you can interact, you can communicate with the computer. How? By the help of the OS only. It is not possible for the user to use any computer or mobile device without having any operating system. So to use any computer, so there must be operating system, OS, operating system. In the same like in mobile phone also there is operating system. So the operating system which is used in the mobile phone, it is called Android. Okay, that is called Android. In the our computer we are using like Windows, Linux, Mac. These are the examples of operating system. But in the case of mobile, which operating system we are using? Android. Okay. Now next we will see, there are some examples of the operating system. So there when the computer is switched on, here is you can see, when the computer is switched on, the operating system, the first program get loaded in the memory. When you are switch on your computer, the first of all what is happening, this operating system is loading to the, it's a memory. In which memory it is loading? Primary memory. Okay, and this is BIOS. Okay, basic input output system. BIOS is loading basic input output system, BIOS, basic input output system. Okay, it is loading BIOS, basic input output system. So at the time when you are switch on your computer, it is booting the, and it is called the booting. When it is starting, this time is called the booting. The process is called booting, means the BIOS is loading to the primary memory, means it is loading to the RAM. Now an operating system perform all the basic tasks like file management, memory management, process management. So input output control, controlling peripheral devices. What is peripheral devices? Peripheral devices is that which are externally connected to the computer, like your keyboard, printer, some speakers are connected, so they are called the peripheral devices. Such as example is given, hard disk, printer, some these are the peripheral. Some popular operating systems, some examples you can see, some examples of the operating system you can see here. It is very important, like Linux operating system, Windows operating system, VMX operating system, OS 400, AIX, ZOS. These are the name of the operating system that we are using currently. So these are the examples of operating system which is used in the computer. Okay, and here you can see this is a hardware, then hardware is interacting with the operating system, and then after end user. So how we are using this computer? So if this is you, means we are here, so we are first we are interacting with the operating system. So like Windows, Apple OS, and these are the operating system, means it allows us to use the computer. Then after this operating system managing this hardware like CPU, memory, hard drive, and these all are managed. So from here how to use? So end user can give the instruction to the operating system and operating to the hardware. Then after how the message coming, hardware is giving to the operating system and operating system to us. So in this way computer is working. Now next we have the functions of OS. What are the functions of operating system? So first functions, there are some functions like it's a memory management, it manages the memory. Process management, how many process can be tackled. Device management, file management, security, control over system performance. Okay, so next control over performance, control over system performance, job accounting, error detecting, ads, coordination between other software and user. These are the important functions of the operating system. Okay, so you have to learn it. These are the important functions of the operating system. So here by these pictures also you can understand what are the uses. This operating system manipulates the, is allocate the resource, monitor the activities, manage disk and file. So these are the some basic activities which is controlled by the OS. What are the features? Like allocation of resources, monitor activities, manages disk files. Okay, now next we have to understand with the real world example. So how you can understand this OS, how operating system is working for the computer, that you can this with the example you can understand. By the real example, real world example, you can just match with this, means you can just try to understand by this. An operating system works like the administrative officer of any department. Means I just try to, with the real example, I just try to simulate with both your this operating system and this with this example. So this example will tell you about how operating system works and what is the use. So suppose you are working in any company or any office, so there is a administrative department, means they who control it. So that the officer various duties, so that person will be have the so many duties are there. So like suppose this one of the example is there. Also you can take the one example of your school. In your school there is a principal, your headmaster, head teacher is there. So he controls, he manages the all the routine of the classes, daily activities of the classes, any problems is occur, so all the management's work is done by the principal. Any decision will be taken, so that will be taken by the principal. So when holiday will be, so all the decisions are taken by the our principal. So that principal is the main person of the school. So same like operating system. So in the computer, that operating system, it has the main responsibility. So main responsible person who manages all the activities. Similarly here principal is managing all the activity, like first period which subject will be there, and when it will be holiday. Okay, so likewise all the activities is that is managed by the principal of our school. So similarly the operating system manages all the activities of your computer. And here in the example it is given of the administrative officer of your any office. So who manages all the workload of the staff, which work they have to be done, when work will be finished, then which new work will be assigned. So every how to manage the work load of the persons, means them like which having the more pressure, which having the more less work, so how to manage the workload, so that all will be managed by the administrative officer. So similarly this operating system manages all the operations, all this management work of your computer. Okay, now some more examples. This is the operating system. These are the examples of operating system. You can write down in your copy and learn. MS-DOS, Microsoft, this full form is Microsoft Disk Operating System. This is one of the operating system. Windows XP is a full form is Window Experience. Okay, Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Unix, Linux, Mac OS are the some popular examples of operating system. So kindly learn it. These are the name of the operating system. Now we will see the important functions of operating system. Already we have discussed the some functions like memory management, process management, device management, file management. So one by one we will discuss the functions of the operating system. So first of all, memory management. Memory management refers to management of primary memory. As you know that primary memory is also called the main memory. RAM and ROM is the primary memory. Main memory provides a fast storage that can accessed directly by the CPU. For a program to be executed, it must be in the main memory, and operating system does the following activities from the memory management. So memory management means like when computer is required that particular program, so that should be available in the memory, so that can fastly, that can be easily, quickly, that can be accessed. So that management is done under the memory management. So what is the use? Keep track of memory, that is which part of it are in by whom, like which part of it are in use by whom, and which part are is not in use, means which part of the memory is in the use and which part of the memory is not in use. So that is keeping track, means that is keeping the record, and that is managed by the operating system. Allocate the memory when process request to do so, means at just suppose any new process comes and it requires some memories, so that will be also allocated. Deallocated the memory when process no longer need has to be terminated, means suppose that process is finished, so at the time that memory has to be deallocated, means that memory has to be released. Okay, now here in this quick knowledge you can see, I just used earlier kernel. Kernel is a central component of operating system that manages operation of computer and hardware. It is basically manages operation of memory and CPU time. It is basically what is manages memory and CPU time. Who? Kernel. Kernel is the central part of the middle parts of the your operating system. Kernel. Okay. Now next function of OS, which is process management. Okay, so now next we will see the process management. So this process management, what is the work of this process management? The OS decides which process get the processor when and how much time, means OS who will decide? OS will decide which process get the processor, means like so many process, suppose you have given to add any number, play music, so same time you are requesting for the playing game, so who will decide? OS will decide. So who will process first, who will do the first will add it, first will play the music, or first play the game. So that all will be decided by the OS, and for how much time, and also that process work for the how much time. So that all will be decided by the OS. An operating system does follow the activities for the processor management. So first of all, keeps tracks the processor and status process. So it what is done, it keep tracks the processor and status for of processor, allocate the processor CPU for the process, it allow it get available, it allow the CPU to process, it give the availability of the CPU, deallocate the processor when process has no any longer required. So all this process management means when to be worked, when to be processed, first who will get the processing. So that all will be managed by the processor management. Now next, device management. So what is device management? So device management, an operating system manages various devices attached to the CPU. It does the following activities for the device management. What are the device management? Keep track all the devices, means those devices are connected like your keyboard, mouse and all that. So that is like a keep track all the devices. Device which processes get device when and how much time. Okay, similarly to which device it is required, when to use, how much, for the how much time it is used. So that will be managed. Allocate and device for efficient way. So when it is required, so that at the time it will be available, otherwise it will be disconnected. Deallocate the device means work is over, then it will be deallocated. Now next, file management. So what is the file management? A file system is normally organized into into directories for easy navigation and usage. A file system is normally organized into directories like a your dictionary, you can see ABCD, or like in your telephone directory are there. So it is arranged in a such a way so that will be easy to navigate and uses. These directories may contains files and other directories. The activities means, directories means what? The address of the file. So what are it keep track the information, location and uses and status, decide who get its resource and allocate the resource, deallocate the resource when not needed. So file and what is the use of the file management? It keep track, it decides all the things, means like when it is used, where is the file, where to save, to get the its address. So all these things you can get from here. Now next we have other activities of this your OS operating system. We are discussing now here functions of OS. So other functions like security. So security means the password and similar other techniques. It prevents unauthorized access to the programs and data. Means security means we are locking our computer by the password. Means suppose when you will on, they require the password. So that is the security, means nobody can access your computer. Unauthorized accessment means like for the any wrong purpose they will not use your computer. Next, control over system performance means recording, delaying between the request for the for a service and responding for the system. That is for the control over performance. Error detecting means any problem will be there. So any suppose any not working properly, any error is there, so that will be detect. Then after, coordinating between the software and users. Coordinating this one, the coordination between other software and users. Coordination and assignment of compilers, interpreters, assemblers and other software to the various uses for the computer system. So it also allows means how to it coordinates between the like a software and other users. Means which software, suppose any software you are using Paint, so that Paint how it will be coordinated with you, means you are the user, so that will be easy to coordinate, means this operating system managed for the coordination. So here is like compilers, compilers, it is a language translator, interpreters, assemblers. So between these users and this software compilers, and because this compilers and interpreter, these are the examples of system software. Okay, assembler, this is also example of system software. So between these users and this software, how to coordinate, how to simulate, means it gives the yeah, it gives the easy platform to use it. Now next, the types of operating system. We have studied about the functions of operating system. Now we will see the types of operating system. What are the types of operating system? So these are the some types of operating system. First type is that single user. What is that? Single user. So single user, which type of this is operating system. Single user operating system is an operating system which allows only one user. How many users it allows? Only one user to use computer at any given time. Means at a one time, how many users can work? Only one time, only one user can work. The user has full control over resources. This type of OS is used in home and offices where only one user work at a given time. Means at one time, at once, only one user is working. So that this type of operating system is called the single user operating system. Next, we have multi-user operating system. Multi-user operating system allows multiple users to work on a computer. Its name suggests multi means many, so multiple users will work at a time. These users work simultaneously and access the computer system at same time. Computer on which these users work called the terminals. So at the time means when we will call the terminals when the many users are working. So each users means that end users who is working who is using the computer, they are called the terminals. They are called the terminals. Got it? The resources of computer system are shared among the various users. So that operating system, because many users are using that computer, so that resource means the hard disk, the main part, the memory, the memory will be shared by the all the users. So this multi users, it is supported by the Linux, Unix, examples of multi operating system. So these are the Linux, Unix are the examples of multi-user operating system. Okay, so these are the multi-user operating system. Now multitasking. Now next we have multitasking. Multitasking operating system allows user to perform more than one task. More than one task means, suppose I am playing the game, at the same time I am playing music, at the same time I am surfing the internet also. Means three work I am doing at a time. So this type of work is called the multitasking. Okay, so like editing a document, printing worksheet, listening your favorite music. Three works we are doing here. Again you can see editing document, worksheet on printer, okay, printing something, and listening the favorite song. So at this time, in this time, you can see three works are going on at the same time. So this type of work is called the multitasking. So what is multitasking? Multitasking operating system allows users to perform more than one task at the same time. Okay, so best Windows is the best example of multitasking operating system. Who is the best example? Windows is the one of the best example for the multitasking. Here you can see among all the latest one, most software developers love working with the Windows as their main operating system. Generally in our computer also we are using the Windows. Okay.